Sure is a pretty sunrise from up here. I'm about all taken down. Should be getting on the trail here about 15 minutes. I think it's going to be a beautiful day. Clear skies. So pretty. Woo! I was starting to get in a bind with water. So, just to see how well the water filters work, I did find some water in a very tiny little spring. I had to use my little scooper, and so I use a Sawyer bag, like that comes when you buy the filters, and I just cut it off. So now it's, if I can do this, now it's my water scooper. And then it just folds up flat, and I just keep it in the bottom of the pocket with my water bottles. But anyway, this is how good these filters work. This is non-filtered versus filtered. So they work good. And the water tastes good too. It doesn't have a funky, fungy taste. Funky. Also, don't forget to back flush your filter daily. I use the sports bottle top that came off of my, that came with a Smart Water sports bottle. And it fits perfectly on there. So I just stick it on there, give it a squeeze, and get all that nasty crud out that was, that I just filtered. I don't know if you can see right down with my big finger there. Boop, boop. That's where I got my water from. Just a tiniest little pool. But I was glad to have it. I wasn't completely out of water, but I was getting really low. I had a little over a quarter of a liter left, and Far Out was saying that the next water source is like 4 miles away. Or it was. It's closer now. But I was happy to find that little bit, so I topped back off. You know, I've been seeing water everywhere, and it didn't dawn on me to stop and check and see how far ahead water is, because it's always like within a mile, half a mile. Now I had been walking for a while and hadn't seen any water, so I finally decided to look. And I was so preoccupied with that I somehow missed the turnoff for the rock house at Cherry Bend. And I wanted to go and get video of that for you guys. But there's a spring in there, and I was hoping to get water from there, and somehow I just completely missed the turnoff. I saw a turnoff was at 0.1 miles away, and I've been climbing for a while. I'm like, no way this is 0.1 mile. I passed it, missed it, pissed it. I've just got to Spirits Creek area, and this is so beautiful. And there's just waterfalls everywhere. Now the trail says I'm supposed to cross, so I'm looking for the campsite for Spirits Creek, so hopefully we'll find it soon. Good evening. I'm at Spirits Creek, and this is a beautiful campsite and just a magical, beautiful place. And what I do, remember we talked about how I don't do well with loneliness. So I got here and started looking around going, oh wow, how lucky am I to camp in a place like this. I was bawling my eyes out because I couldn't find trees that were perfectly spaced apart, because I just don't do well with loneliness. And I think part of the problem is I've been pushing myself too hard. I've been doing 17-mile days, and I heard that doing that much on this trail is really tough. So I kind of think I might just be overexhausting myself, because once I got changed into my camp clothes and then laid in the hammock for a little bit, kind of going through my food, I started to feel better, and I started to say, well, let me come up with a plan. So what I'm going to do tomorrow, instead of pushing an 18-mile day, I'm going to back that off by 3 miles. So I'm going to do a 15-mile day. And I'm going to camp by Hurricane Creek, I think it is, or Jack's Creek. I don't know which one yet. But I'm not going to try and push for another 18-mile day. I've done a 20, a 20, a 16, a 17, a 17. I've been pushing hard. And I have little chihuahua legs. So, I think that that's a good plan for tomorrow. So, I'm going to enjoy this beautiful place. It's supposed to be rainy tomorrow. So, I hope that it's not... I'm seriously, I have 23 miles left. But I hope the storms don't get worse than expected and push me off the trail. So, we'll see what happens. I'm going to go enjoy this beautiful place. We'll talk to you guys later. Nom, 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 nom. All right, I made it to the Salt Fork Creek. And I'm going to fill up with water here. And I'm going to fill up with quite a bit of water. because on far out it shows that there isn't water for the next 9 miles. So I want to water up. Now I'm going to camel up, drink a bunch while I'm here. And then I get to carry all of that up to White Rock Mountain. And it's going to suck. But we got to do it. And I think that is my last big climb of this trail. So, yay. I've stayed at this campsite before. So I'm starting to get on a part of the trail I've actually already been on because it takes up part of another hike called Shores Lake White Rock Mountain Loop. And it's a really beautiful loop if you guys ever get a chance to do it. And then when you come down off White Rock Mountain, come down here to the Salt Fork, and this is such a great little campsite. All right, so I have filled up with 1.5 liters of water, and I also drank a 0.5 liter of water to keep me going the next 9 miles where there might not be water. If there is, I'll point it out to you and I'll give you all the mile point that it's at. All right, so we have 2 things here. Number 1, and most important, mile marker 19. Boop. Second one is this is the intersection for that Shores Lake White Rock Mountain Loop I was talking about. So, and I haven't got very far. The Salt Fork's just down there. East Shores Lake Loop. So you're going to follow it down that way to do the loop. And it takes you down to the Shores Lake. I believe it's a recreation area. The other part of the loop comes around on the other side of White Rock Mountain. For us, we're going White Rock Mountain. Boop, that way. You can see with the blazing now, we're starting to see 2 different colors, blue and white. So blue is going to be for following the Shores Lake Loop. White is for OHT. Trail register, woohoo! And some signs with arrows pointing all over the place. Straightforward is White Rock Mountain. Okay, so up on White Rock Mountain, if you continue up this trail that way, there's a camp store, and I hear they sell ice cream there. There are campsites, cabins, what else? Water, toilets. Okay, and there's a campsite right here if you need it. All right, I'm going to sign the trail register and get going. I forgot to tell you one other thing about White Rock Mountain. Up there, so you're going to do a little rock scramble kind of stuff. It's kind of steep through some rocks, but it's pretty too. But there's also a loop trail that goes around the whole rim, and it's really, really beautiful with some incredible views. And there's also cell service here. So, yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to tell y'all. Okay, now I'm going to go hike. All right, let's go. Trail's not going to hike itself. So, should I be concerned about those buzzards following me along? Here is a campsite that is not on far out. This is at mile marker 10.0. All right, time for me to cross Hurricane Creek again. Now, if it is too high to cross, and this is one that can get too high to cross, it'll be a messy bushwhack, but you can bushwhack upstream. There's a road bridge. Okay, I'm gonna get my feet wet, and then I have to climb up and over that. Yay. Also not on far out. On the other side of the creek, mile marker 9.9 is another nice campsite with a free coffee cup, it seems. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, those water sources on that 9-mile stretch of trail that far out said had no water, this is what I found. This water is at 16.2, 10.6. So that wasn't a lot, right? And I don't even know if those are reliable or not. So just make sure you plan accordingly when you hike between Hurricane Creek and Salt Fork Creek, because I can't guarantee that those water sources I saw will even be there. A lot of them are just trickles. So plan accordingly. Don't get all thirsty and upset because I tried to tell you. Now I'm going to turn around before I fall on my butt. This is also not on far out. This is mile 8.2. Can take about 4/10. Okay, so there's been a few campsites that are not on far out, and I'll add them right here, but I'm also going to email far out and ask them to give it a add to the app. Let's see. So I got to camp, and there were some other guys up there who clearly aren't thru hikers, because I asked if I could stay here too, and they looked at me like I was from another planet. But tell myself, well, I'm just gonna put my hammock down there. So, anyway, tomorrow I finish. I'm at mile 8.2, and so that means 8.2 miles out. So by probably 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I should be done. So pretty cool. So here's my little campsite. They had all the flat spots up there and didn't seem to want company. So here's my stuff, and that's the nice thing about a hammock is you don't have to worry about what's under you. So I got my pack over here and getting dinner ready. Sits right here by Jack Creek, which looks like I'll follow on the trail all the way to Frog Bayou. So this has been a really cool trail. It is long, but that's the point of a thru hike, right? So we did, again, this is the traditional Boston Mountains section of the trail, which is 164 miles long. There's been a lot of like trees down and bad footing on some of the side hill trail that needs some side hilling where they basically fix that. You know, like where you're walking along and the trail's eroded and then it ends up like becoming more and more slanted to the point where it feels like you might slide right off, and it puts that weird canter on your ankles. So that there's quite a bit of that, and a lot of blowdowns, trees across the trail that really slow you down coming through there. So, and I don't want to make it sound like the trail is being neglected, because it's not. I saw a lot of fresh evidence of side hilling, like we talked about, chainsawing trees that had fallen across the trail. And we also met some trail maintainers while we're here. And those of you who followed my channel for a while know that I'm also trail maintainer on the Ouachita Trail. And I'll tell you guys, it takes an army to maintain a trail like this. So if you want to get involved, contact the OHTA, which is the Ozark Highlands Trail Association. They're the ones who take care of the maintenance on the trail, and tell them you'd like to volunteer. They'd always love to have volunteers. Also, if you don't live near here, maybe there's another trail you live near, like the Ouachita Trail or some other trail, and they're always looking for volunteers. So take an opportunity to volunteer if you can do it. It really, really helps with the maintenance on trails like this. Okay, well, I'm gonna go eat. We'll see you guys in the morning. These are what my starts look like. I just realized I never videoed a start. Anyway, every morning I usually try to get going when the sky is just barely lit. Use my headlamp as just an extra tool in making sure I stay on the trail, because as you can see, sometimes it can be a little tough to tell what the trail is. Mile 5.4. This campsite has room for one tent, maybe a second tent up on that little area right there. And then it also has access to Jack Creek for water. This is at 5.0. This is a nice flat area, but there is no fire ring, but there is room for several tents. But right on the trail is, first of all, mile marker 5. Boop. Also, there is a sign right on the trail. It says to camp, go that way. So right up that way is, see the blue blaze? You're going to follow the blue blazes up the hill. Check it out. My first view of the lake. Yay, Lake Fort Smith. Well, looks like my time of dry feet has come to an end. Boo. Anyway, this is at mile 2.9, and I'm gonna ask if Fariel will add a little water drop here. Hey, bye-bye, dry feet. Okay, so far so good. So far, oh no, my toes are getting wet. Not the toes. Aw, boo. Actually, it's not as cold as some of the stuff we've crossed. You notice, if you're not a backpacker, you'll notice I walked right through in my shoes. That's because I'm using trail running shoes, and watch. As I walk, it just pumps the water right out.
she is. Miss Mary Poopins. Get on up here, Mary Poopins. Woo!
So am I here? Am I done?
Hey, you went the wrong way the whole time. Oh, turn around and go back.
All right, that's a wrap. So we are all done. It was 164 miles, but because of our little oops over at Fairview, it's actually 168 miles. So it was a really good trail. Some parts were really hard. Some parts were really beautiful. Some parts were a little frustrating with the amount of blowdowns. Kind of made it hard to get some speed, but all in all, I had a good time. I'm ready to be done and glad to be off the trail now, but it was a really cool trail. Come out and try it. Bye. Check out those sexy hiker toes. Oh, baby. Oh, I might lose that one.